So actually, this was a concern that even I was having some 2, 3 years before, or around 4, 5 years before, when I was pitching this course of MPP to students. Like even in India right now, most of the policy documents that has been being created, policy documents or policy is being created by bureaucrats only. Okay, although it's not always always true. Sometimes there are other agencies also, but mostly all those agencies are government agencies where public policy experts are not there. So this is the case, or this used to be the case mostly in India before, before like before few years ago. So once I was going through the document of Amravati city planning, the dream project of Chandrababu Naidu. So I was checking that all the critical position of those city planning or city development board was being occupied by either some IAS or IPS who has served the government for a longer period of time. So first, I'll tell you why the ruling government or the government why government prefers bureaucrats over any other agency or expert. Why government prefers bureaucrats over other agencies, over other agencies and policy experts. So first we need to get the reason of this. So you let me reintroduce the steps of policy where you actually up what you do at first is you set your agenda setting is there, and you also make your goals to achieve in some period of time, and then you create or draft a policy. And since you are drafting the entire policy, all the aspect of it before you are using it, before experimenting the policy at real time. So once you draft the policy, every aspect of policy, adapt you need to adaptation policy adopt this policy. And what this adaptation process is making it legal, like either passing it getting it passed through the legislation or any other compliance that you have to follow before you go to the field or execution. So this part actually is a big deal here in India because our government and our government's process runs under the purview of constitution, which has multiple rule and body which take cares the component and the type or whatever the requirement is. The policy need to be in compliance with the constitution as well as other previous law, and it should also carry all the quality of the policy which government has defined before. So this part, making a policy uh, under the purview of constitution, this part and the documentation, in this part these bureaucrats are of great help because they have been working under the similar situation of constitution or audits, and they know what should be there in the policy or what should not be there in the policy in order to make the policy acceptable to the constituency or any compliance bodies. So here now you can see why bureaucrats are important here, because they have not just read and well read and got trained over the governance process and the constitution and how the government functions, but they have also worked for it, even in the previous policy or some for some other policies also. So the documentation part becomes very easy for bureaucrats. At the same time, since they have passed a very like the quality of bureaucrats are almost same, and they have been working for the government since many years. Like not every bureaucrats get to make the policy. They must have some experience, so you can rely over their uh, authority or power or capability of drafting a good policy. Now, this good which I am talking here is good with respect to the constitution only. Now, when everybody and everyone has started realizing that this good policy is not good at ground, is not that good at ground. So this good is not making the policy effective. This good is not working well. Now, and even the worldwide policy making and policy execution has been developing as a subject and as an research subject and a tool to help government in creating, crafting and executing great policies, crafting and executing great policies. So like all other knowledge transfer, we we that I mean the government and everybody who is the stakeholder has now started realizing the relevance of policy experts at every stage of policy formation. Relevance of policy experts. So now, while agenda setting or while policy making or while adaptation or execution or even at the time of evaluation of policy, at all these steps, people with this expertise are now being sought after or being looked for. Okay, but still, there is a big complaint among everyone that government still believes that bureaucrats are the only agency which can make policy which uh, can be under the compliance of constitution. So very often we also find this kind of debate that bureaucrats are good with governance skills or knowledge of constitution, but they are started and they make policies which is not under expertise area. So what any person who has done graduation in humanities and making policies for health or making policies for nuclear energy or making policies for scientific development, so this kind of mismatch is also there. And now everybody knows the policy that bureaucrats are making is good at paper, is good in order to uh, be in compliance with the constitution and other machineries, but they are not working well. So since now everybody in the government has also realized that that policy making and execution is not being very effective because we are just taking the help of bureaucrats only. So now the use or um, call of policy experts are also there. And apart from that, since you are aspiring for MPP program, and since public policy program especially is designed to train you for government related policies and government policies by government, but it's not limited to this. The same learning you can apply to the institution, other institutions like NPOs or CSRs for the other companies and other spaces as in think tank also. Matlab, you can also apply these knowledge at these organizations also. You can be the part of consulting companies, government consulting companies which are executing the same policy for government um, to the ground level. These like KPMG and ENY, these organizations are also hiring from MPP program. Okay. Now, is it clear to everyone, Jiva? Uh, is it clear to you now?
Yes, sir.